this evening I was talking to one of the Bhagwan devotees, and she was asking me, who is that young man who sings these Sanskrit shlokas? And I was really, I said, yes, he's a very young man.
Young man.
Yeah. She said the voice has that youth in it. I said, yes, that's the power of Bhagwan, the power of that self, which is giving that youthful voice to it. So I actually sent her an invite, and that's why I was looking through the names, but I can't see her name here. But anyway, that's all good. So with that youthful voice, Neelakantanji can say something, and others can mute them, I believe. Then the voice less other sounds.
Hope I live up to the expectation. Nana Rupa Vyatitoham Chidakarogamachyuta Sukarupa Swarupoham Ahameva Ahamavyaya Nana Rupa Vyatitoham. I am beyond all forms. Chidakarogamachyuta. I am of the nature of pure consciousness, and I am never subject to any decline. Sukarupa Swarupoham. I am of the nature of Sukha or Ananda. Ahameva Ahamavyaya. I am the very self, indestructible and changeless, ever changeless.
Neelakantanji, what was the source of this?
Again, the same shloka. This is Brahma Jnana Varimala, which we started and is continuing.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Adi Shankaracharya.
This changeless is what we all are in reality, and an eternal, unchanging reality in all of us. Our true self. And we all can find it within us if we start looking within. Whatever practice you do or efforts you put is to de-identify what you think you are and to recognize this truth of awareness. How can you find your true self from where you are right now? What step needs to be taken and how? And I believe easiest, simplest is to be still and watch activities of whatever you think you are. You will get your own clarity. How you function, what type of things, thinking you entertain, and work on it. How this individual grows, not just survives, and tries to grow more. How this individual always have some identity crisis, wants to increase this identity, in some way or the other. Very subtle ways also. It could be spiritual ways also. It could be anything. It could be good work also. And how it tries to hide in garb of whatever, tries to keep this identity intact, to an extent that it also leads to a thought about legacy after death. The ego does not leave us at this level of this life. It takes us to other. It takes us to our progeny, one next generation, generation next to that. You know, um, if you start understanding the way it works and the way it never dies. I'll tell you, if that dies, then you never die. And if that lives, then you die. This is the paradox, if you can get that. But if that dies in front of you, that finishes off, that disappears, then you are free. Free from the cycle of birth and death, free from right now with all unhappiness, restlessness, uneasiness. Don't think it is the work, it is the commitment, it is the responsibilities which is binding you. It is what you think about yourself is the binding force, nothing else. Identity with the body mind complex is the only, and that is fake, wrong identity. And that is the source of all suffering, and that all spirituality, if you call it a spirituality, is all about unfoldment, or going back, or rewinding, or de-identification with what we think, what we are in this dream world. And that is your journey. You don't have to compare with anyone else. And you don't have any excuse, even for your bondage, that because of these circumstances, I can't get out of it, and blame your spouse or your employee or employer or whatever situation, or a disease to the body. Like they are, look, this is the thing. Ego has thousands of ways to keep you in trap. Like you can write a song on it, 1001 ways to keep you in trap. And who cannot be in that trap? The one who is still. Because it entices us with so many lucrative offers or whatever. This constant intrusive thoughts, what they do, that's what it is. That's all part of the Maya illusion to keep you there. It tests you. It gives you this. If you're not interested, then it will give you something else. It will keep you on a high pedestal, or it will take you low. In any way, it wants to keep you involved in this story of this world. But the moment you start understanding by just staying still, in your stillness within, and if you are really interested, and if you are honest about it, and you are giving all your attention for it, no one has to make you understand what it is. You will find it. It's not that it has to be very intellectually understandable thing. Anyone can find it. But you have to be sincere and humble about it. You have to be honest about it. And you have to keep practicing in a sincere way inside your own internal structure. It is not for any obtaining a bliss. That is the way the mind will can take you, that I will be in that bliss and happy and this and that. It's not even about just happiness. Happiness is a byproduct of it. But this is your own. You are that. If you can't find who you are, then all life, whatever we do, we achieve, what meaning it has. And this is the thing. Mind can take you from one thing to other to next, so many goals. But there is no eternal satisfaction in anything, which is actually good, because the ultimate satisfaction comes when you know who you are. I am that I am, and that I amness is only stillness within. And that stillness you can only get when the doership is not there. When you know that this awareness, which is witnessing, is none other than you, and that is you. Not the body-mind complex which you are using to interact in this world, which gives everything a dualistic appearance. Once you know who you are, all duality can continue without affecting you in any way. But you have no doubt about it. Doubts are not cleared in books or scriptures. When you are really for it and you look within, you will find the right balance where you settle in. In initial part, there would be again projection as a person. That ego might still be there because of your own desires, your interest. You have invested so much in this world. You can't close your balance, your bank right now. There is so much you have invested. If you have that courage, if you can take that plunge, it can be done in a second, in a fraction of a second. But for a lot of people, it is a hard bit. They can't do that. And then it's like slow cooking. It's a slow process. It just happens by witnessing, by watching, sleeping, and then again watching. And it is very easy. It is so simple. There is nothing else needs. But the method, if you want to call it method, it is not a method. Staying as what you are is not a method. But because you keep sleeping, you have to keep reminding yourself, that remembrance to that awareness. If you call it method, yes, then it is a method. And then it has to stay with you when you wake up till you go to bed. Whole day, every day. How much can you be in that awareness mode? How much you slip back? You will know. And who will gauge your progress? Only you. And whom you're comparing with? No one, just your own self. When no doubt is left, then no thought comes. No desire is left. Then only contentment is left. You are contented with whatever it is. You have given up fighting with your thoughts, with others, on any matter. Internally, you have done with everything. Like you are the most sorted out person, but not a person. Sort it out with that person. You have finished that person. So no stories left to finish a task. It is not that the task done by body is your task. That is what you think. You take this mind body as you. Your ownership of this body mind is all problem you have. The moment you start witnessing, you start feeling this gap. There's a huge difference between you and this body mind complex. Though you use it, but you are not that. You use so many gadgets, but you are not those gadgets. It is not an intellectual understanding that I am telling you, and yes, it is, you have to believe. No, don't believe. Do it yourself. Abide in your pure awareness, just staying as awareness, just witnessing things coming and going. See how much mind reacts to things. Just witness it. Don't buy to any thought. Don't engage. See. This is the way ego works, through mind, through thoughts about everything. That is the job of mind. It analyzes, criticizes, judges, likes, dislikes, conditions, divides things according to its own conditioning, its knowledge, whatever it has accumulated. So if you have done a lot of these things in past and you are a very strong minded, or what we say, a person who always categorizes things, then it is a big job for you to go back. But if you are a very simple, humble, easygoing person, it would be like this. You just understand and you are already like that, and just that's all, nothing. It's a hard bit for a more complex personality. For a country person, for a villager, it would be just nothing. No, I'm not saying that everyone living in country is not is simple and living in city is complex. I'm just trying to say how much you have invested in the intricacies of the mind, how much you have gone more and created your life more mess. Because you have to come out of that. You have to disentangle yourself from all your so many concepts, if you have too many concepts there binding you. Sometimes people having suffering in life, they can move very quickly out because they have no liking for anything. They just move out. People who are really enjoying and their ego is giving them good results and they are success stories, very hard to convince them that you are not a doer. You are planning to write an autobiography and I'm saying you are not a doer. What will happen to that autobiography? When you are saying you are not a doer, then who will say that you have done those things? Then how can you write that? Understand, for true happiness and for your freedom, all of your story is at stake, and it is your choice. You want to go with the story and end in the grave, or you leave that story and stay as an eternal awareness which has no name, no form. You leave one identity and you become infinite. All forms belongs to you when you leave one form. Behind each form, it is the same awareness without any difference. There is no difference in quantity or quality. It is the same. Neelakantanji was reading this from Adi Guru Shankaracharya's Brahmavali. But you can read from anywhere. You read Ribu Gita, you read Ashtavakra, you read Bhagavad Gita. You talk to any saint anywhere in India or any part of the world. When you know the same. Maybe the wordings can be different. Maybe there might be cultural or religious intonations to it, but essence would be the same. Whether it comes from Bible, whether it comes from Gita, it doesn't matter. It is exactly the same. Some people think that it is only for some chosen people, on whom there is a grace of shower of grace, only on few. It's not like that. Bhagwan has said the grace is like sun shining on everything. If you stay in your egoistic mind with curtains all around in your house, how can that sun can shine on you? You have to be honest and open and naked in that truth. Open up all the curtains of all this personality. Be open, and then you see that there is grace shining on everyone equally. The people who talk like this, that I need your grace. This I has to go. When I has gone, the grace is there. Most selfish people speak like this when they came to Bhagwan or any guru or teacher, I need your grace. And they will keep doing that stupidity of their life. And they will say, I need your grace. Ego has no ego cannot ask for grace. Ego has to go. If ego is there, how can grace can come? Kabir says, Prem gali ati sankri isme do na samay, which means that this love lane is so narrow, two cannot be there. Only one can be there. What one he's talking about? He's talking about that Paramatma, that Bhagwan, that grace, that God within us. If you want it to come through this body-mind complex, this thing, it should manifest in you, then you have to go. Who are you? Who has to go to get that there? The middleman, the one who is saying he's the owner of this body-mind. He's running the show, who is proud of everything, who takes all the credit and discredit of whatever happens or not happens. That has to go. And if that which doesn't want to go and wants more grace and wants to stay can continue this journey for zillions of years, it will never happen. It is exactly what Bhagwan says. It's a story of snake and rope. It is rope, but you think it is snake. Until you change your perception about thing, they are not two things. It's not never dualistic. It is that one only. The moment your perception changes, that what you were thinking is what you are. You are never that. That snake is the ego and rope is that eternal. That's what it is all about. When people talk about transformation, you have to just know that you are the source, not the projector. This projection coming from the mind, from the colored glasses of the mind, tinted glasses, That gives us a very different look of the word, and everyone sees the word in a different way because of mind. But if you keep this mind away, then there is nothing except awareness, nothing except you. It is very easy, very simple. If you have that longing in you, then will happen. But if you want to achieve it, it will never happen. You cannot gain it, you cannot achieve it. And so everyone says that it is grace. Because there is no ego to claim, that's why everyone says it is grace. But it is you. Otherwise, what ego will do, it will keep it as a medal. I have done it. One more feather on my cap. I did a marathon, then I did double degree, then I did a PhD, and then I became a billionaire, and now I have realized self. It is not that. It is nothingness. It is nothing. It is empty. When we are empty, what is left is that. It is much easier when you start taking responsibility for your own liberation and work within. The journey is so fast. But if you give it to some God or some Lord or some teacher or some thing, that he will do it, that is what ego wants. Ego wants that you should give it to something, and something will do at some time. And then some scripture can also say, yes, after at the end of this word we will take care of you. Then it continues that way. Don't think nature is in a hurry for your liberation. You are not that important at all. There are plants, animals, birds, so many bugs, insects. They are all as equal as you. Billions of human beings, but again trillions and I don't know how many. Every day we find a new species of plant or animal or something. If your liberation is like going to church on a Sunday or a temple on a Tuesday, you will never get it. Or even if it's like an hour of morning japa. Because let's say you are putting 1 hour of sincere efforts every day, but then next 23 hours, 1 hour, let's say, efforts to be in awareness, and 23 hours, all your work define you as an egoistic person. Then where is liberation? 1 step ahead and then 23 steps behind. I would say then go full throttle as ego and just keep doing what you're doing. Don't bother about it. When something will happen, when something will awake you, when the time will come, that's okay. But if you think this is your time, this is the time to liberate, this is the time to be that, then I would say go full throttle. Put all your energy here. Then ego will say, what about this? What about? Then don't listen to any of those thoughts. Maximum what will happen, tell me? You will be dead, and I'm sure everyone will be dead one day. It's just a matter of maximum 100 years. How does it matter? And one good try, knowing the self, one life for that. If you can give one life for that, job is done. You will laugh on this joke. This fear of death, fear of suffering, and that's under the pump all the time as doership. And some incentives in this cage in form of getting some recognition, some money, some fame, or some small enjoyments of pleasures coming from sensory organs. We think that is bliss. Whole problem is only in one thing: thinking that I am this body mind. If you see, everyone's life is about preserving this body, working for this body, generating income for this body, to give this body good food, shelter, clothes, and there's no end to it. And then this body has some sensory organs to satisfy them. We can go to any extent, even kill others. And then what happens? What we achieve at the end, the body dies, it becomes dust. We spend whole life for this body, and at the end the body ditches us. It becomes dust. What a joke. I would say, if you are a smart businessman, invest in something which is eternal, which will be with you with this body and without this body. Don't keep collecting things which have no meaning. Conserve your energy. The same mind which is Bahya Mukhi, which is looking extroverted, same energy you can bring in Antar Mukhi, and use same mind which is projected outward as a slave to the sensory organs of the body. Bring that attention here and start witnessing. Start just staying in that stillness. Source, which is uninvolved, it just watches how things unfold. If you do it sincerely, it might take maybe weeks or maybe months. Or if you have too much of garbage, maybe a couple of years. But it will happen one day that you can watch this body mind as so separate that then you can't even identify again with it. Don't think all these jnanis use their name as a second person. They cannot identify with the body. Just like a kid, you call someone John, he will say that John wants this food because he cannot identify with that body when he's 2 years old. You call him John and he thinks this body is John, so he says John wants a chocolate. He doesn't say I. That I comes later. This conditioning brings that I. And you see all the Gyanis, there are so many examples. Papa Ramdas, from Kerala, he always used to say, Ramdas went there, Ramdas did, as if he's talking about someone else. You listen to Anandamayi Ma, how she used to say that they invited this Sharir, then this Sharir went. This looks more like, my God, Sharir. Sharir is something, this body, she's not even calling it any name. She's saying this body is invited to that function, this body went there. Why did it speak like this? Because none of us right now in reality are this body which we are carrying. We should all speak like this. The name given to you is the name given to body, not to you. You are not the owner of that name. You are not the owner of this form. When you moved into this body, that was not choice. And when you will leave this body is not your choice. Then how come you start having choice in between the two? You are that choiceless awareness which is just watching the show. The one, this middleman, this fake man is the problem, which always questions about things. Why it's not like this, why it is this, why this has happened to me, why it is not. There is a divine planning and then there is a planning of this ego. And it will never match because ego is selfish. It always wants something for this body only. But pure awareness has no clue. It cannot ask, it cannot reject, it cannot accept it. It is. And because it has no ownership of the body, it is always in bliss, always contented with what comes and goes. Ownership is the problem. There was a story of this businessman. He was getting old and his son was working for him for many years, and son got married and son was living happy life. And after few years, his dad said, look, I want to retire and you are the owner, you are the boss of the whole industry, all business. And he made him chairman of everything. And from that day onwards, he started getting diabetes, hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, stress, couldn't sleep. Though he was doing more or less the similar thing, but responsibility, like I am the owner, it is my business. This ownership of this body is the issue. And that is wrong. It is the first sin. And we all have to pay for that sin, for this ownership. And ego doesn't stop at this body. That is the problem. Then it goes to the family members, then kids, then great grandkids, then my religion, then my country. It can take any form. My car. There's a person who comes in my clinic. Can you believe he brings a pole, an orange pole, because he has bought a new car? He keeps that pole on one side of his car so nobody can scratch or touch it. Or if someone opens the door, it does not. You know that ego has involved now car. Car is part of his ego. It can take any shape, any form. There's no end to it. It's a monster. It's a cancer in us. It grows and grows. You keep feeding it, grows. It becomes so big. But the only way to finish this cancer of ego is by witnessing, by being still. Your just watchful witnessing will finish it. Don't be an accomplice to it in anything. Whenever there is a situation in which you have to decide, if you really have to decide and you can't get rid of this ego, then always don't count yourself in that situation, in that equation. Give others importance. This way also you can become humble and you can finish this ego. You know, in olden days, and I think I'm sure still in some ashrams in India, people who are seekers, they work like slaves to master and to ashram. They do all cleaning and all sorts of things for 10-15 years, and then they are given knowledge. This is just to finish your ego. No one has got it with their ego. No one. There is no exception to this rule. Not even single exception to this rule. Because again, it is the story of snake and rope. If you keep this ego snake, how would you identify God within? Only one can be there. Ego has to go for the God to manifest. It is manifesting. It is only the covering of ego by which you can't see it. You can't feel it. You can't experience it. And only good news is that you are that only. You have made yourself so small by thinking you are an individual. And then there are others. And there's always some resistance between you and others. And that's why there is all suffering. Stillness is the key. Just be still. Because all our life we have used mind to achieve things. Now you have to say to mind, look, enough of all this drama. I want to get out of this drama. No more role playing. I have done acting. I enjoyed it. I went through ups and downs. Now I'm out of it. But it's not just saying like this. You have to live that way. And here there is no other examiner than you. You are your own examiner. Your own examining how its functioning is going on. If unfoldment is not happening, you know it. People talk about methods. What method is to know yourself? Right now, if you see, millions of people are going for methods, whether it's alternate nostril breathing type of method or some pranayam, or you're going up and south, because ego loves to do something, it has to achieve by doing a method. That's why all the shops have given so many methods, because they know people will come to their shops. Ego loves to do. If someone says don't do anything and you will be free, then there's nothing to sell and no buyers. Ego is nothing but doership. And all methods keep that doership alive. Be in that stillness always. Understand we have no control on the body which we are using. One day it will be dead. We don't know. We go to bed at night and next morning it can be a dead body. But use this body to know who you are and finish this game. If you ask me what is the most important thing, that is most important thing. Before you take your last breath. One of my uncles and we used to talk about spirituality and have really good discussions. He's no more right now, and he used to say, look, I don't want to take next birth. And I said, why? And he used to say, I don't want to do homework. I hate doing homework. Again, I have to go to school. And look, it's a joke, but it's very true. You have to start again, whole cycle. Right now is the best time. Somehow it has come to you. That's why you are here. You want liberation. Somehow, I don't know. Maybe it has come to you only in last few days or last few years. Or maybe you're just testing. Some people just love to go around and see what are different things in this world. Whatever. But I would say that grace has brought you here, your own grace. Now, if you have come to this some sort of understanding, then just finish it. Don't look back. If you worry about the life you are leading and you want to sort out things and you want to come back later, it's up to you. But life sorts out itself in its own peculiar way. You can't say right or wrong. So many people who are miserable, do you think they wanted to be miserable? Life just brings whatever it has to. again go back to Bhagwan's teaching that there is no free will, it is just destiny. Whether it is free will or destiny doesn't matter. But when you leave it to destiny, then at least you stop working from the ego mind complex. Then you start witnessing things. It helps in your own practice. More egoistic people, they cannot accept this theory, and that's okay. And then they use their free will to achieve. But then at some stage, that ego has to melt away, isn't it? Very strong-minded people, they do tapas, standing on one leg or doing something crazy. They continue doing for 10 years, 50. They go to Himalayas, they do all sorts of things. Then they find a guru and then they surrender, and then some way or the other, the ego has to go. Some people take very long path. They do everything and then nothing is working, and then they understand that it was useless. Liberation is easiest for a person who is surrounded by irritable people irritating him all the time. They are trying to help you, you are finishing your ego. Because what irritates? It's ego, this person is saying to me like this, what is this? This is all ego, which feels bad. Understand that witnessing is very powerful. The moment you start witnessing, you are that pure self. All other path starts from ego and then take you there. Direct path means you are that, just stay like that. As uninvolved witness watching the show going on. Where you have to end, you start there. You are pure self. Just stay as pure self. What will happen? Nothing. Then watch from here. Who is not free? You will not get any doubt from here. Only pure silence. When you stay in this stillness, whatever anyone says, you will know it, how much peaceful it is. First time you will know the meaning of love. Before that, all the meanings of love are attachment, infatuation, attraction, which we call as love. Give and take we call as love. Love is always unconditional. Love is always about giving. That is love. And you are that love. Ego cannot love anyone. It can only pretend to love. It always tries to find what is for me. When you think what is for you, then where is there is unconditional love. Slowly, when you get established in your own stillness, power of this stillness is so much that it sucks you. It finishes everything. And it does everything for you. You just have to come to the door of this. Bring all your energy here and surrender at the door of your heart and see the magic. Have faith, have trust in it. Have faith in your own pure self. Love your company than anything else. Why there is dispassion, vairagya in all seekers? Why? Nobody likes parties and social gatherings. And why? What happens? That energy just pulls you in. It gives you infinite level of whatever you were trying to achieve in the external world. Just be in this stillness. Whether you're retired, at home, at work, in any situation, stay as a witness to everything. See your language when you speak to people, at home, at work, with friends. Is it coming from ego for this body, for its comfort, for its liking, for its benefit? Or is it impartial, neutral, where all bodies are my bodies? Or I am that emptiness, which is not counting this body as any identity, no identification with body. You will get the answer, and you can correct yourself. You can refocus yourself. Ego mind always see everything from mind through thoughts. And witnessing never involves thoughts. It witnesses thoughts if they come because of some past tendencies. Always be in that stillness in all your interactions. And slowly and gradually and beautifully, you will find that stillness. It is so peaceful. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.